Hey everyone, the dialogue here. So at the moment I'm looking at an actual pedophile. So this video is looking at perpetrators. So I'm going to show you within this video an actual pedophile admitting he's a pedophile and the fact that he's unrepentant and that children want to have sex with him.
Tell us what PI was all about, the Pedophile Information Exchange.
PI was an organisation for people who had a sexual attraction to children.
He's blinking a lot, and that tells me that he is stressed, and he's very adamant though. His demeanour is very adamant about what he's saying.
And we thought our illegal interest in children ought to be made legal if it concerned relations with young people who were consenting to a relationship, if they were willingly involved.
Consenting to a relationship, and we saw a little bit of a head nod. It was a bit of a jiggle, and that sort of, it means it's unsurety.
If they were willingly involved.
Willingly involved. You saw a little bit of a head jiggle there.
Tom
And then he moves away.
O'Carroll is a self-confessed, unrepentant pedophile and one of the founding members of the Pedophile Information Exchange. He now shies away from advocating the age of 4, too easily misunderstood, he says.
The age of 4 came into it insofar as children by that age are normally verbal and can normally say whether they are liking a particular kind of activity or not.
He doesn't believe that. He was shaking his head.
Too easily misunderstood, he says.
Let's slow this down.
Insofar as children by that age are normally verbal and can normally say
Say. He moved back on say.
whether
That tells you that he does not quite invested in this.
they are liking a particular kind of activity.
Or not. He shook his head twice. He doesn't believe that these 4-year-old kids want to have sex with adults, which is pretty obvious to most of us.
Or not.
And advocate that it should be okay for an adult to have consenting sexual relations with a child aged 10. So
He puts his tongue through his lips, so he's a little bit dry, so he's getting ready for the onslaught
of sex.
Well, the emphasis here is on consenting, the willing, free, uncoerced involvement of the child. Yeah.
So in his own warped mind, there's part of him that really does believe that, or wants to believe that.
Yes.
Can I ask you this though, do you believe still that the majority of children at the age of 10 can communicate their consent to a sexual act?
Yes, I do, yes.
And he actually believes that. It's disturbing.
So I don't see that is a problem, communicating a consent.
Even though a 10-year-old may consent to a sexual act, it's usually because they've been abused all of their life, or the power imbalance is such that they're just consenting because they lack the power to say no or have another choice.
What constitutes consent?
The willing involvement of a child is really quite simple.
But how does one judge that?
That is a matter, as it is with adult consent.
There's a difference between children and adults, as most of us know. There's a power imbalance. There's a power
For
imbalance.
the people involved.
And that's why pedophiles go after children, because they know they're weaker than they are. They're after power.
You keep saying, by the way, sex with children. It's not sex with children. It's sex, most people think, is sexual intercourse, penis in vagina, and a guy banging away until he gets orgasm. That's not what I mean by sex with children.
What are you talking
about? And I don't think we should talk in this sort of emotive fashion about sex with children.
It's hard to grasp what this guy's actually talking about.
The less emotive term.
Erotic contact with children.
Erotic contact with children. Let's slow that one down.
Erotic contact with children.
And what would that involve?
Orgasm. That's not what I mean by sex with children.
What are you talking about?
And I don't think we should talk in this sort of.
He's displeased, and also he's under stress.
emotive fashion about sex
Yeah, because sex with children isn't emotional, is it?
with children.
What is a less emotive term?
Erotic contact with children.
And he doesn't believe it at all. You can't trust this man. He just shook his head. So you don't know what he is truly saying. Saying one thing for the camera and doing other things behind closed doors.
And what would that involve?
Well, it might involve touching or
And notice how he's fumbling over his words. That's another red flag to say that he's lying or he's not telling the whole truth.
masturbation.
It's bizarre, bizarre.
You see, that's another lie that pedophiles spin.
What is?
They say that the kids aren't traumatised.
No,
And
no,
believe
no,
me-
no, wait a moment.
Believe me, they are traumatised, Tom.
Yes, but many years later, as a result
Well,
of
why
being
does that
told,
matter?
well, it matters because they would not have been traumatised, but for being told that they had been abused.
And he's got a duping delight right here. Told that they've been abused. He's really not telling the truth and he subconsciously knows it.
That's the point. You'd say that it's not the pedophile that's caused the abuse, it's the responsible authorities like the police and
Yes,
their parents.
absolutely, absolutely.
So you don't accept that having sex with a child can cause any kind of
Let me
lasting...
tell you, we're getting peculiarly hysterical. Many years later, when people are told that they have been abused and it keeps being rammed into them from the media, or
Notice how he used that word rammed? That's just, it's very telling. Even the words we say express who we are and what we've done. So, I mean, that's problematic, that word he just used.
then that is the feeling they come to get. They come to think, I must be traumatised because people keep telling me so.
And he keeps telling himself this.
That's how it happened.
Can I put to you, there's something in your book. There's a section in your book
And he's very displeased, always getting ready for it in his book and licks his lips
where you describe
over and over.
the scenario of a little girl sitting on a man's knee.
Yes.
Moves back from that because he doesn't know what's coming.
Describe approvingly how sexual relations
He's under stress.
with that little girl can be, quote, negotiated by hints
Yeah.
and signals, just complimenting her on her knickers
Yeah. Yeah.
and testing her response.
Yeah.
And what would be the adequate response from that little girl, Tom?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. It's mind-boggling. This man is despicable.
What would that constitute? How would the little girl show you enthusiasm for you wanting to have sex with her?
Let's move away from.
No. Let's stick
So he doesn't want to answer the question.
to this issue.
Well, all right. Let's stick
give
with the
me-
issue, but
give
let
me
me
a-
let me address it in my
Okay,
own way.
The little
Head cocked, he's trying to move away from the question.
girl sitting on your knee, and you've just told her, I like your knickers.
Let me address
what
it in
does
my
that
own
little
way.
girl do to indicate that she's willing to consent to have sex with you, Tom?
How does somebody indicate willingness to have consent to anything?
A little girl cannot possibly be a consenting partner in that kind of power relationship. She's sitting on your knee, for God's sake.
Yes,
You're
she
an
can.
adult.
And he closes his eyes. Yes, she can. Close your eyes. You're hiding the truth.
Yes, she can.
You used the term enthusiasm. What does that little girl do to indicate that she's enthusiastic?
I think that we're going round and round in circles.
And he doesn't want to answer the question.
What is the answer?
We're going round and round in circles. I've given you my answer multiple times, so I'll finish there.
Which is a non-answer. You just can't answer.
Well, you think it's a non-answer. I think it's an answer.
Notice how he's facing away from the interviewer, so he is ready to get going. If anyone does that to anyone, it means that they're not really invested in the conversation.
All right.
Shoulder shrug. And he leaves. So this is a disturbing account of a pedophile who completely believes in his right to have sex with children who don't know any better. So thanks so much for watching this video. It is disturbing. It's also interesting to note just what kinds of people are out there and what to look out for. Okay, this is the dialogue. Please like and subscribe and ding my bell. Also check out my Patreon page for new videos. Thanks.